At Notary Capitol, we work with title companies and attorneys every day to solve one of the biggest challenges in real estate: getting documents notarized for overseas signers fast, securely, and 100% online. If you're struggling with embassy delays, expensive international shipping, or just notary issues, there's a better way. Remote Online Notarization, also known as RON, lets your clients sign their documents from anywhere in the world without requiring them to step one foot in a notary's office. In this video, I'll break down how remote online notarizations work and why it's actually more secure than traditional notarizations. And also how Notary Capital ensures a smooth and compliant transaction for your firm and your clients. I'm going to tell you about Daniel. He's a realtor whose deal almost fell apart because the buyers were overseas. Daniel was representing a buyer who was purchasing a home in Florida for $500,000. Now, everything was going smoothly until he got an email that made his stomach drop. The buyer, who's a US citizen living in France, messaged Daniel the following: he couldn't find an appointment at the US Embassy for another 4 weeks, and he wanted to see what they could do. Daniel was pretty much stuck. Since the buyer was overseas, it's not like they could just simply walk into a notary's office to get their documents notarized. And the only possible way for him to handle that situation was for the signers to go to a US embassy. So here's the issue. Like I said before, the embassy didn't have any appointments for another 4 weeks. And even if they did get the documents signed and notarized, they have to ship it internationally, which is already going to take more time, and it costs more. Now, the biggest problem that they were facing here is that the sellers were already tired of this transaction. It was a rocky transaction from the start, and they were ready to leave this deal if it didn't get closed on time. Now, Daniel knew that if this deal collapsed, not only was he risking his commission, but his clients were going to lose out on their dream home. Desperate for a fix, Daniel reached out to a title company who recommended Notary Capitol as a solution. We told him, no problem. The client can sign from anywhere in France in less than 30 minutes. We got the appointment set up, and the buyers verified their identity with our online notary and signed everything from their laptop. The deal closed on time, and Daniel learned a valuable lesson. Traditional notarization doesn't work for overseas clients, but a remote online notarization does work. Now let's talk about Jennifer. She's a real estate attorney who didn't realize she was losing clients until they started going somewhere else. Jennifer worked with international investors buying properties in the US, but when it was time to close, she came upon the same problem every single time. The investor had two options. They'd have to take a flight out to the US and have their documents signed at the office, or their second option was to go to the US Embassy. Some clients backed out of the deal because it was just simply too complicated, and other clients found attorneys who were making it easier for them, and Jennifer didn't really know how. And that's the problem. Jennifer was losing thousands in legal fees because of this. Jennifer reached out to her title company friend who she's worked with for a while now, and they recommended she speak with us at Notary Capitol. We had a long conversation about her needs and what she was expecting. And after she made the switch to working with Notary Capitol, everything changed. Now, instead of sending her clients on a wild goose chase to the US Embassy, or having them back out of the deal, or using a different attorney, now all she says is, no problem, we'll have the documents notarized online in minutes. Jennifer's client retention skyrocketed. She started closing 30% more deals with international investors, and she stopped losing transactions or facing the stress and frustration of delays with her current process. Remote online notarizations wasn't just convenient, it became the competitive advantage for her law firm. So, what actually happens behind the scenes? Is this even legal? And how can your signers have their documents signed and notarized without ever leaving their room? The first step is identity verification. The signers need to go through a knowledge-based authentication, also known as a KBA, just like when you're opening up a bank account. And they need to present their IDs to an AI-powered ID scan. The second step is the live video notarization. It's just like a Zoom call, except it's a separate software, more secure and everything. And the signer is going to present themselves in person. The notary who is commissioned to do online notarizations will verify their identity and proceed with signing and notarizing the documents. On step 3, the documents are digitally sealed with a tamper-proof encryption, and the session is recorded and stored. And final step, step 4, is instant delivery. There's no delays, there's no mailing. The documents are immediately available for you to download and have them recorded. The only question left to ask now is if you need remote online notarizations for your team. And the answer is absolutely yes. And that's because your competition is already using it. Here's what happens if you're not offering remote online notarizations. Your clients are going somewhere else to get it done. Your deals, they're being delayed. And your firm or your company is spending and wasting time and money on outdated logistics. At Notary Capitol, we handle remote online notarizations for title companies and attorneys so you can focus on what you do best, and that's closing more deals. If you're a title company or an attorney and you want faster closings, happier clients, and zero notary headaches, call our office. If you found this video helpful, hit the like button and share this with your network so you can help out some of your friends with this as well.